Hello, welcome to Path of Exile. This is going to be just a quick explanatory video on what Path of Exile is and what you can expect if you're a new player to the ARPG games or just Path of Exile specifically. So firstly, what is Path of Exile and what are ARPGs? So action role-playing games, most commonly you'll find very similar to this. There's a character on the screen which represents you, and you move them around by clicking with the mouse or holding the mouse button down, what have you, as you walk around. Generally there's monsters, dungeons, stuff like that. You can cast spells, use melee attacks to defeat the monsters. They drop items, gear that you equip to make yourself stronger, and you gain experience when you kill them. You level up, you gain more spells, more abilities, more health, stuff like that to improve your character and progress in the story. That's an ARPG. You'll find that games such as Fate, Path of Exile, Diablo 1, 2, 3, Torchlight 1 and 2, they're all very similar, almost identical styles. That's an ARPG. Now, what makes there's a few things that make Path of Exile unique compared to, we'll say Diablo. We'll use Diablo 2, I suppose, as more of the base for what we're going to be basing things off of, as it was probably the best selling out of the similar ARPGs, at least in this generation. So I'm not going to get into too specific detail. I'm just going to go over almost everything extremely quickly, but this will be the first video in the series, and there'll be other more explanatory videos on other things in specific. So, just quickly looking at the screen. This will be very quick, I warn you. So you got life and shield on the left. So there's your orb of health. When that hits 0, you're dead. You take damage, it goes down over time, or if you use a health flask, it goes up. This blue section here is the shield. This is an addition to your life. So the shield is deteriorated first from damage, and then once that's gone, then your health goes down. And the shield and the health are independent, so your health can be regenerating slowly, and then your shield can be going down. Your shield will regenerate faster, even though your health is not full, so they are independent, but your shield is what's damaged first. That's your mana. You use spells, they go down over time, or you use a mana potion, they go up. Done. These are flasks. This is different compared to most RPGs, or ARPGs like Diablo 2. So in Diablo 2, when you used a potion, you used the potion, it was gone. You had to buy a new one, you added it into your stack, you just filled your hotbar with them, and that's what you did. And these are flasks. They consume charges of the flask, and the flasks refill over time. So if you see this is used 10 out of 30 charges, so it means 3 uses from it, and then it'll be empty. Not destroyed, but empty. So as it gain kills or other specific charges, depending on the flask, it'll gain charges, and then I can use it again. It's never destroyed. When I return to town, it will be refilled. Moving along, experience bar along the bottom, list of skills available to me here, and then the hotkeys associated with them. Now, on to skills more specifically. They're very unique in this game. Your character does not inherently know any skills. There's no tree to learn skills. In this game, they're based on sockets and gems. Now, in other games, you have Diablo, there's sockets. So there's 3 spots here. You'd put like a red gem in there. That's fairly common. That was in Fate, Diablo. I believe that was in Torchlight as well. But in this game, they represent skills, the gems themselves. So you see, this red gem I have on my cursor here is Flame Totem. It is a fire projectile totem spell duration. That's the description it gives. So if I have that in a piece of gear, and I have that piece of gear equipped to myself, I can cast that spell. I couldn't otherwise. You see the hotkey for W at the bottom of the screen there? When I put it in the gear, it appears, because I can't use it unless it's equipped. Now you can get into more details, because these 4 gems up here are not 4 skills. It's 1 skill, Freezing Pulse. And the other additional 3 slots here are just support gems, which simply amplify the skill they're connected to, in this case Freezing Pulse. More on that in another video. The major difference you'll find when you level up in Path of Exile, regardless of the class you choose, you gain health and you gain mana and you gain a skill point. That's everything that you gain, and all classes gain the same amount of health, the same amount of mana, and the 1 skill point, regardless. Then what's the difference with the class, you say? Well, let's take a look. There's no skill tree, but really there's a passive skill tree. So this here is the skill tree. This massive just cluster of random nodes everywhere is the skill tree. Now all classes share the same skill tree. So when you gain a level, you gain a point, and you can allocate a point onto the tree. You can gain a node. Now the only difference between the classes is where they start on the tree. You see, each of these main central hubs here is where a class would start. So this is where the Scion starts, this is the Templar, Marauder starts there, Duelist is here, Ranger there, Witch up at the top, sorry, and then Shadow over here. I reverse those two. Regardless, that's the only difference. So when you gain a point, gain a level, you gain a point, you can allocate something on the tree and you go along. And the only difference between the classes is where you start. That's it. That is it. Now, that's about it for the uniqueness of the game. Or at least that I'm going to go over in this video. There's a little more special things, like, for example, I don't know if I mentioned it, this game is free. Now, like any free game, there's some premium or freemium features. The selling feature, at least to me, is while there are things that you can purchase with in real life money, not a single one gives you a real pay-to-win advantage. So regardless if you have $1 million to spend on Path of Exile, or you only have a couple or none at all, you're still going to have the same amount of chance to be successful in this game as anyone else. The only thing that I find gives the slightest advantage, and while I say slight advantage, it's more of, it's less annoying, or it's not annoying to play the game if you have this, whereas if you don't, it could be annoying. Not an actual advantage, but stash tabs. So this is the stash. You have an inventory where you can place items in here. The stash is where you place items that you can share between any character that you create on the same league. So there's hardcore, there's standard, and there's a new league. Get into that in another video. But I believe originally you start with 6 tabs. Now you can purchase more tabs. Like I think I have 20 tabs. No, a little more than 20 tabs in total. And that's probably going to do me for a very long time. I think this was maybe $20 to get all the tabs. It's a fair bit, but if you consider the price of what you'd expect to play for a Diablo game, and the fact that I've invested that much money into it, and I'm completely set to go for a very long time, it's definitely worth it. Anyhow, that's more than I wanted to get into this video. So thanks for watching, guys. This was my introduction to Path of Exile. Please like, subscribe, rate, etc. and look forward to another video explaining more specifics of Path of Exile, and then soon getting into some tutorials thereafter. So peace out, guys. I will see you next time, and thanks for watching.